Prince Harry and Meghan Markle just have no idea how to do the whole "let's not make a terrible situation any worse" thing. This is not the time. Like, how stupid are these two? Do you really expect any of us to feel even a scintilla of sympathy about the fact that you lost your grace and favor mansion? Honestly, they're nuts. Somewhere in Montecito there is a phone number. Prince Harry cannot dial anymore. He didn't lose it. His own brother had it changed. And this week, the one woman Harry handpicked to tell his life story said this out loud on camera with the cameras rolling. "You just go on feeling sort of jealous of George, which is not very nice at all anyway, is it? It's horrible to be jealous of a young child who's full of being brought up very, very well and enjoying life, you know. It's just disgusting. Honestly, disgusting. She has made him hate his family. You can have a person in your life who tries to drown you. That is Angela 11, not a troll with a ring light. His own biographer, the friendly witness, and she has just accused his wife on the record of dragging him under. 4 separate stories landed in a single 7-day stretch, 4 doors, and one man quietly keeping every one of them bolted shut. And honestly, it was never the king. There is a new rule in this family now, and it doesn't bend for a house. It doesn't bend for a biographer. And it does not bend for blood. The rule is simple, and it is colder than anything Charles ever did. Once you're out, you're out. Over the next 20 minutes, I'm going to show you William enforce that rule 5 separate times in a single week on his brother, on a house, on his own flesh and blood cousins. And the 5th time, the very last clip, is going to put a proper lump in your throat. I did not see that one coming. Here is what was meant to happen this summer. Harry flies in for the Invictus Games. Charles softens. The cameras catch a tidy little reunion. The headlines write themselves. One name kills the whole plan stone dead. William. And listen to how final the verdict already is. So, I'm really annoyed about this. Prince Harry has such a cheek that he is now piling the pressure on Catherine, the Princess of Wales, to step in and try and save his failing relationship with Prince William, not understanding that it's over, brother. It is gone. Finito, just accept it. Catherine tried so hard for so long. You threw her efforts back in her face with your continued attacks, not just on William and Camilla, but on Catherine herself. These days, he tries to take both sides of the argument, but having spoken to both couples or sources connected to both couples, the big revelation from him is that Prince Harry doesn't even have William's phone number anymore. That is, of course, a mortifying revelation for the Duke of Delusion, especially given Wakeford goes on to say that even if he did, Prince William would not pick up. No screaming row, no thrown punch from a memoir, just a number that quietly stopped working. And one report this week put the whole thing more chillingly than any soundbite could. So the situation is this. Harry is waiting for a call William has already decided not to make. Charles the King, the father, the man nominally in charge of this institution, is reduced to dispatching a deputy secretary to repair what his sons destroyed. A channel of communication has been quietly opened between aides. A games in Birmingham has already been planned around the hope of a public father and son moment. And somewhere in Montecito, a prince is watching his brother thrive and wondering when or whether the phone will ring. Sit with that. He is waiting for a call that is never coming. And the reason the heir will not pick up has nothing to do with the attacks on himself. He can rage about those all day. It is what Harry put in print about Catherine that the reporting says he will never forgive. So Harry goes hunting for another door. He starts leaning on Catherine herself to broker his peace for him. The absolute audacity of the man. He spent years by his own published account making her life harder. Now she is the one he wants to fix it. The cheek of it. Honestly, Catherine had thrown up her hands and said, "You know what? I'm done. This is on you, Harry." And perhaps the only really annoying thing that is semi-new in this is that you are correct that Harry is once again going through back channels, putting the onus on someone else to kind of make the overtures. It's the same thing he did with King Charles a couple months ago when he let it be known through a source wink friend wink that he would be happy to accept an invitation to Sandra Hill, but of course he would only go if his wife and kids were there, and that, oh yeah, and if there's full security paid for by people like me, and if he knew who else was going to be there. So it's the same kind of BS that's happening right now. It's Harry's wish list like, oh God, maybe Catherine can get through to my brother. Catherine, can you do this? And doing it through sources, friends, whatnot. It's I call baloney on it. It's just really Harry stamping his feet and playing wish list again. And the man begging to be rescued is running clean out of people to ask. Watch this. Nacho is really his only friend around there. So, he's probably like, get off your horse and come talk to me. I'm so lonely. I've got no one to talk to. That's not on my payroll. It's quite sad the outcome of the life he fought so hard for that they did warn him about. And frankly, he could have still gone back into the royal fold had he not sold out his family and become the biggest hypocrite of all by acting like the press he so claims he hates. He's just a spoiled brat, frankly. He wants what he wants when he wants it. And if he doesn't want it, he's gonna stamp his feet and have his friends talk to the media and say, well, Catherine should do this. I mean, that's freaking balogany. Leave Catherine alone. A lonely man, an ocean away from the only family he has ever really had. And the one road home runs straight through the brother who has already decided the answer is no. And for the reason it runs this deep, you do not ask a palace source. You ask the one woman Harry trusted with his whole story. And she gave the answer in 5 words. Angela Lavin wrote the warm Harry biography back in 2017. The sympathetic one from before any of this came apart. So when she talks now, this is not a hater settling a score. This is the character witness Harry chose for himself. And she is not holding a single thing back. Along comes Meghan. And I'm sorry to say this, but I'm pleased to say it on another level. She has kept on and on and on and on. She has made him hate his family. She's admit him that he's got bad mental health. And actually, you can do that. You can have a person in your life who tries to drown you and make everything awful. And she hasn't tried to make him better. Drowning from the woman who liked him. And it ties straight to Harry's oldest fear when he confessed to her himself years before any of this began. He told her he had a small window before his nephew grew up and eclipsed him. Here it is in Harry's own words read by the woman he opened up to. I now feel there is just a smallish window when people are interested in me before Prince George take over and I've got to make the most of it. Now then tell me that happened 10 years ago right now. If he can't think of a way to do something better over 10 years, I've got no sympathy for him. Prince George turns 13 next month. A happy, healthy boy who is off limits. Full stop. But to a man marinating in grievance 3,000 m away, that boy is a calendar, a countdown. He told us his fear 10 years ago, and he has spent every year afterwards making it come true. And then Levin dropped the detail that genuinely made me put my cup down. What stopped him was that he asked William if he could help bring up William's children because he feels he didn't want any of them to have the same awfulness in their lives as he has had. And William said, no, you don't. And he said, well, just let me do a bit of it. He said, no, you keep away. I'm not having you anywhere near them. And I don't blame him. But you see, he's created something for himself. So he's punished himself. That is the whole video in one sentence. That is not a brother sulking. It is a father drawing a line around a nursery. The changed phone number, the bricked-up door, all of it. The same instinct. William watched the drowning up close and he decided the water would never reach George, Charlotte, and Louis. So when the Sussex defenders pile on Levin, remember exactly who she is. She is the witness who liked him. When the character witnessed you handpicked is the one telling the world your wife made you hate your family, that is not a hit job. That is the defense resting. Meghan is not a footnote in why Harry is locked out. She is the reason. And every report this week lands on the same verdict about what that means for her, and it is a permanent one. And the wreckage out in the world backs her up. I do not believe he will show up to Birmingham at all. But that is also in a little over a year's time. So, of course, there's time to go. But here's the deal, Dan. No way can William or Catherine ever be around Meghan again. The charities meant to be Harry's whole legacy are coming apart at the seams. Sent to bail at open war with its own chair. African parks hit with abuse allegations in the Sunday Times. The kind of story the old Harry would have flown out to fight. Archwell quietly shut down his proudest chapter, the soldier dragged through the mud by his own memoir. It has all been grievance and actually his arguable achievements. I think they are sullied in some way now. Actually, Afghanistan has been sullied because of his boasting about his hound and spare, for example. His charity work has been sullied because we know the truth from DR. To Sophie Shandoka about St. Bali, and of course we're going to come to the other one in just one moment. Archwell's been shut down altogether. But all of those achievements, if they actually were legacy achievements, have come before this window that he knew he had before he met Meghan Markle. And the biographer who knew him best has watched exactly who he became in the meantime. Bangs him on the back. She won't let him talk if she wants to move. She criticizes him for all sorts of things. And so he feels like nonsense putting him on at the children's table when she was sitting with all the main people there. You know that's the way you can destroy someone. But look at his face, and he can't do it because he still loves her, or whatever his reason is, he doesn't want to say, whoops, I made a big mistake. You see, all those are not smiling, and she can manipulate him, and I feel that that's what she's done. One royal writer called the whole collapse Harry's charity curse. Even Levon will not let him hide behind that soft little word. Well, I don't think it's a curse. It might be unpleasant, but the fact that men there might be attacking people and trying to get rid of them because they want part of the land. That happens a lot with Africa Parks and in Sante, looking after small children who have come from very, very ill parents. So, you can't say that everyone's got to be well and nice and kind. It's just you've got to be sensible. You've got to be enabled to carry it through. I mean, he loves animals. That's fine. He can help there too. But it is all to do with how you understand what's going on there. And then you work at it. It's not a curse. It's just unfortunate that it's happened because this is 2026, that the year that we're living in. And you could go around any country now and say what a nonsense it is, and this country is absolutely in a state. So you have to manage within it, but you can't then say you're cursed. I don't feel I'm very unhappy with this country at the moment. I don't feel I've got a curse. I'm sure you feel the same 100%. It's like this is down to your bad management and your bad behavior. Prince Harry. A curse is something that lands on you out of the sky. This he steered into with both hands on the wheel. 10 years, every door wide open. And he spent them going under. And even as Harry begs for a phone call, he and Meghan spent this very week reopening the one wound that proves there is no way back. Frogmore. The story you are sold goes like this. Poor couple. A gift from a loving grandmother Crewe thrown out by a vengeful palace. Every brick of that story is being rebuilt by the facts. Even the host refused to dress it up. This renovation was originally paid for by the tax. As we know, that didn't pan out. When they left, they paid that money back, and they say that was on the understanding that they would still be able to live there because they are saying to me it was a wedding present from the Queen. Well, fake Prince Harry and fake Duchess Meghan. What the monarch giveth, the monarch can taketh away, especially if you accuse the monarch's life's work of being underlined with racism. Their fresh claim this week, the Queen wanted them to keep the house forever. Or so we're told, that they paid full market rent supposedly, and now the Crown is reversing every last renovation brick by brick, scrubbing them out of the brickwork. And the audience gave them not one drop of sympathy. What you going to do about it? Because you didn't appreciate anything. So why should we care what you have to say about us taking this away from you, regardless of if it was before spare, after spare, whatever? You've done a lot of horrible things, and we can do what we want to do. Hey, we are the monarchy. We're the institution which you could not appreciate. So go ahead, cry. Do everybody you want. Go kick rocks as far as the royals are concerned, because they're doing the royal thing, and you, Harry and Meghan, are going to be kicked out of that royal thing. Get used to it. That's what I would say. Good for them that they are feeling hurt by it. That's what they need. Be hurt even more brutal. But the juiciest receipt of the week is older than all of it. Roll the 2016 tape. So beyond bringing on writers or other people who want to share great content and who understand the voice of the site, which is like talking to a girlfriend and conversational and inspiring, I've always sort of crafted it like aspirational girl next door. Like you can aspire for it, but you could totally attain it, too. That is Meghan in 2016, looking down her nose at $100 candles. Her own lifestyle brand today sells them at $64. The woman who mocked the price tag is now the price tag. And the panel said the bit out loud. That is total nonsense, isn't it? Like, this is absolutely obnoxious. She even sends out candles that don't have a wick. I mean, these are sort of low-quality, low-grade products, and she is charging a premium for it. Absolutely. This new Meghan is the royal, I'm better than everybody kind of a Meghan. I'm creating a very luxurious brand. She's not creating a brand that's for the simple woman that is trying to make a living on a modest salary. She is creating something exactly what she was talking about, the TIG Meghan. So, this is that woman. Okay. She's resorted to doing what she said she would never do because she's turned into that. Is royalty now. She's hanging on to a title. She's, trying to be this high-level A-lister. She's exactly what she talked about as being obnoxious before. Okay, she's not fooling anybody. She's turned into that woman. The brand that was meant to soften her image keeps doing the exact opposite. Every launch reads like a woman lecturing the family that fed her about a life she walked away from. The public clocked it a long time ago. They keep on knocking at a house that has been gutted back to the studs and handed to the staff. No appeal, no wedding present clause that brings it back. The rule held even for a gift. And if you are sitting there thinking, well, that is just how they treat Harry, the one who walked out, then watch what William did this week to two people who never left at all. Hours before the only royal wedding of the year, a feud detonated over two women who have done nothing this year, but exist quietly. Princess Beatrice and Princess Eugenie, Andrew's daughters. The trigger was an official audit, and the numbers are jaw-dropping. Beatrice and Eugenie have been living in some of the finest real estate in London for close to 2 decades without paying a penny in rent. Still, even by the standards of the British royal family, the details that emerged in this report this morning published by the National Audit Office are genuinely jaw-dropping. So, both sisters are married to wealthy men. Both sisters are living in some of the most exclusive real estate on the planet for a fraction of the market rate. But it's not over, folks. Here is the kicker. They do not pay that rent, that discounted rent. The entire bill is picked up by King Charles, who pays it out of the privy purse funded by the Duchy of Lancaster income. Discounted rent on prime palace property, and the king quietly foots the whole bill. How convenient. 2 non-working royals, both married, both with jobs and homes of their own, and the monarch still covers the difference out of his own pocket. The public has run clean out of patience for exactly this, and the guest said so flat out. Also, what's going on in Britain right now is so much rules for thee but not for me. And the public is insanely sick of it. And I just think at this point they need to become private citizens. That's what they are. Be treated that way. And right now, William is trying to lead the way, saying, hey, I'm being completely transparent. Look, my wife and I are paying market rent on our forever home. It's £400,000 a year. We have the money, we're paying it. 2 princesses, a rent-free start, and a king quietly writing the checks to this day. The optics could not be worse if you built them in a lab. And then one royal writer said the quiet part out loud with no varnish on it at all. The line that should make every Windsor flinch. The Yorks are a crime family. In a crime family, the next generation gets drawn in. They may have been indoctrinated as children, but no one 20 years later seriously argues that it's not their fault and that they are immune to the consequences of their actions. William does not think they are guilty in a courtroom sense. He thinks they are contaminated. And in the age of the social media pylon, William understands something his father simply does not. That contamination, fair or not, is fatal. And the guest had a flat warning for the two sisters, and for anyone thinking of turning up to that wedding anyway. If the princesses Eugenie and Beatrice had any shame or any sense, they would not show up. Honestly, it's one of these occasions where you send a lovely present and don't gift your actual presents. I think it's just too embarrassing. Contamination, fair or not, fatal. There is the rule set out loud by someone who knows exactly how William thinks. If he will freeze out two cousins whose only crime is a surname, then the idea that he will ever reopen the door for the brother who torched the place is a fantasy. People keep asking when William will forgive Harry. Wrong question. This week told you he will not even forgive being in the same photograph. He is not running a family anymore. He is running a quarantine. And the very first name on that list was never Beatrice. And it was never even Harry. It was Meghan. So if a man is this ruthless, freezing his brother, freezing his cousins, gutting a house back to brick, you are allowed to ask the hard question. What on earth is worth being this cold? What is he guarding that justifies all of it? This week, without meaning to, he showed us. And it is the part that stops being gossip and starts being something else entirely. A video came out of a cancer ward in Manchester this week. Catherine in recovery herself, standing beside a young mother of 30 as she rings the bell that means the chemotherapy is finally over. No press release, no brand launch, and no camera crew choreographed to catch a flattering angle. Just this will be brilliant. Stay strong. Bring it with us. That is what William is guarding. A wife who walks toward dying strangers and means every second of it. 3 children who get to grow up out from under the weather. Now watch the contrast the panel drew. And honestly, it writes itself. The other hospital visit years ago on the other side of the world. It's just a stark difference to how Meghan, when she went to Australia at the Royal Children's Hospital there, everyone had to be carted out to her, whereas Catherine went to them. And also just the way she was so caring and loving towards everyone she met. It really does bring tears to your eyes. Yeah, it does. I mean, there was no humanity in these moments that we're looking at now. Whereas everything about Catherine is soft and meaningful and about the people who she is there to see. This was so gross. It was so gross. And it just shows you how different they are because I mean the circumstances were identical, weren't they? Absolutely identical. I mean one was performative and the other one was actual. For a decade we were sold the idea that the warm one, the modern one, the open-hearted one married into that cold gray family from sunny California. The warmth was inside the palace. The entire time. It just does not run a brand. So, when people ask why William will not let Harry and Meghan back in, look hard at what the man is standing in front of. You would change the locks, too. Back to that phone in Montecito. Charles may still want his reunion. Harry may keep dialing a number that no longer connects, but the man who controls the door has already given his answer, and he gave it 5 separate times in 1 week without a single word to a single reporter. He gutted the house. The cousins. He froze right out of the family photographs. He guarded the nursery. He let his wife show the whole country what the real thing looks like. And his brother's call he left ringing out into nothing. This was never Charles versus Harry. It was always the brother quietly deciding who gets to come near the 3 children who carry this family next. Rage burns out. This one will not. It is a door clicking shut and the soft sound of a name being lifted off a list. Once you're out, you're out. So, let me hand it to you. Here's the question I keep turning over. Is William right to bolt that door for good for his wife, his children, the whole institution? Or should a family always leave one open, even for the one who burned the place down? Tell me in the comments. And do not be shy about it. I read every single one. I sit with my tea and I read them. And if you want your royal stories done properly, the facts checked, and the nonsense stripped clean out, do hit that like button. It genuinely helps this channel reach more people who care about these stories instead of the sloth. Subscribe before you head off. There is a lot more landing this week, and it is moving fast. The next one goes deep on Harry's summer Invictus visit and exactly which doors open for him when he lands and which ones stay bolted shut. That one is going to sting if you ask me. This is where we follow the story past the headline, watch the people who think nobody is watching and tell you what the palace would rather you did not notice. Once you're out, you're out. Ask the man with the changed phone.